A joint Australia-New Zealand bid has emerged as the front-runner to win the hosting rights for the 2023 Women's World Cup after Japan withdrew. Colombia is now the only other country in contention, with FIFA expected to announce its decision early on Friday morning Australian time. Well, joining me now is the Sports Minister, Richard Colbeck. Minister, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. So, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but I feel like our chances are pretty good. What's your feeling at the moment?
Well, we've clearly got a very strong bid, and like you, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. As Sports Minister, I haven't seen a lot of sports in my year so far, but I think this is a great opportunity for us. It's a very, very strong bid. I congratulate FFA and New Zealand Football on preparing such a strong bid. It ranked 4.1 out of 5, which was the top of all the bids submitted to FIFA. When that was assessed, that was the score that it received. And so we're in a very good situation. I think the way that we've managed the last few months with COVID stands us in good stead as well. And it's a huge opportunity for another significant boost for women's sport. It'd be fantastic to see the Matildas running around on Australian soil, and I'm sure the New Zealanders think exactly the same way about the Ferns.
Yeah, huge, no doubt about that. Huge for women's sport in Australia, but also for our economy. What kind of economic impact could this have for those people who might not be aware of how big this tournament actually is?
Well, this is one of the biggest sporting events in the world. It'll be the first time a global soccer event has been held in this part of the world, Australia and New Zealand, and so we will expect a global audience of hundreds of millions of people, and of course millions and millions of dollars worth of economic activity to the country as well.
What are the plans in place? Is there new infrastructure that has to be put in place, Minister, or is everything kind of already there when it comes to transport, when it comes to stadiums, when it comes to everything that's got to basically take care of millions of people who are going to come here?
Well, the infrastructure is largely there. Remember, it's only 3 years away. The new Sydney Stadium will form part of the competition. But one of the really good things about it is that we'll spread the teams all out into regional parts of the country. All states are participating, which is fantastic. So Australians all around the country will get the chance to see the best women's soccer teams playing here in Australia. So it will do a great deal for all of the country. Training facilities are around the country in regional parts of Australia as well, and New Zealand. So it will spread the value around the country, provide huge opportunity for younger Australians to be inspired by not only the Matildas, but the Ferns and all the other teams that are here. And as I said, a great boost for women's sport in this country.
I'm a huge football fan, Minister, and I was actually there in Zurich a long time ago now when Australia missed out on the rights to host the 2022 Men's World Cup tournament. It was absolutely gutting, that was, and make of that process what you will. But does that kind of disappointment weigh on your mind at all?
Well, look, it always sits in the back of your mind, but FIFA have got a new process in place. Clearly, the fact that the bids have been ranked by their investigations panel that have been to all of the countries to have a look at it. And we were the highest ranked bid on the bid books. We've got the support of Oceania, and very pleasingly, after the withdrawal of Japan earlier in the week, the Asian Confederation have come behind us as well. So it's the first ever cross-confederation bid that's been submitted for one of these competitions. So it's got a lot of things going for it. And of course, we're in a time zone that includes some of the biggest football playing nations in the world.
Minister, just a couple of quick ones before you go. I've set your phone ringing there. I don't know if you want to turn that off, but no. There we go.
Just declining the P.
There you go, mate. You're very busy. You're very busy at the moment, Minister. Just a couple of quick ones. This Essendon Conor McKenna, he's tested positive for coronavirus, then tested negative. Are you scratching your head over that one as well?
Well, look, I think it's important that we follow the procedures that have been put down and agreed by the AFL. Their protocols are very good. I appreciate the work that the AFL's been doing with the government and the authorities to do that. You just cannot be too careful with this virus. So, yes, it clearly raises some questions, but we need to follow the protocols. In the other parts of my portfolio in aged care, we have similar circumstances we have to keep an eye on. So we really do need to make sure that the protocols are followed so that we ensure that the players are safe, but also the competition can continue.
And just finally, Novak Djokovic, he has tested positive to coronavirus as well. Was it irresponsible of him to continue with that tournament? I note that Nick Kyrgios has sunk the boot right into him today and served up a couple of big ones to him. But what's your view of that?
Well, I think what it really does is reinforce the need to be cognizant of the issues around us and not to be complacent. We're seeing the effects of the virus getting away from us here in Australia at the moment. We don't want that. We want to maintain a really low level of transmission and as low as possible in the community. Because it can have a devastating effect, and we've seen that in a couple of circumstances here in Australia, and clearly when in the last week we've gone from 8 to 9 million cases globally, how rampant it can be. So vigilance is really important, and not being complacent also.
You better get that phone, I think, Minister. It's you are in demand.
I need to talk to the
boss.
boss.
I think you might need to. Is that the PM?
It is.
What's the PM calling? Better not delay him any longer.
I better go. Thank you.
Okay, see ya.